Okay, so we're about to have a whole lot of fun. I'm very excited to have the opportunity to introduce to you a woman who is really my favorite small business champion. She's gracious and smart and kind and gorgeous and runs an incredible company that was really just a dream 30 years ago. And she and her best friend each borrowed $250 to start the company, which is now a billion-dollar brand. So let's give a really great Massachusetts welcome for Vera Bradley Baekgaard. You ready? This one's yours, baby.
Quite an introduction.
I know, because they were pumped and they were excited and participatory and all of that. Okay, so if we go way back 30 years, you started in your basement with a desire to look a little bit bigger than you were. Tell me about that.
Well, it's hard to go back 30 years. Oh my gosh. I had two girls in college, two boys, one at home and one on to college. And my daughters, they always ask about, what are we going to pack in? What are we going to take our things in? So I think I had this in my mind. There was not anything on the market that was good-looking, stylish, not canvas. And then Pat Miller, a friend of mine, and I were going to Florida, and we ended up in the Atlanta airport on a delay. And I looked around and I said, no one has anything that is really good-looking. They're carrying men's luggage, something masculine-looking. So anyway, much to the horror of anyone here who went to business school, we started the company the next day. The very next day.
Yeah, that's a good message for everybody. I think one of our big messages this morning in our session was just do it, just do it, just start it, just get moving. Don't worry about dotting every I and crossing every T. Just get going. So tell us a little bit about what literally happened to just get going.
Well, to get going, now anyone young in this room is going to die over this next thing. We went to our husbands and borrowed $250. And somebody once asked me after I had said that, they said, wasn't that partly yours? Well, you have to go back 30 years. I did not have $250. So I borrowed it from my husband. Pat borrowed $250 from her husband. We went to JoAnn Fabric, bought some fabric, went down in the basement, and cut out some fabric, made some bags, sent them up to my college daughters. And one was in New York, one was in Michigan. And they called home and said, everybody loves this. Can we get more? Can you make more?
And there you go.
Ta-da.
And there you go. And I think that's a universal lesson, that it's as simple today, maybe even easier today, to just act on your idea, to not obsess so much about it, to just really just do it, to put it out there and see what the feedback is.
I think so.
And I know one of the initial things that you were making was clothing. You don't make clothing anymore. You make everything. You had the cutest iPhone case that I saw, which I need to get me one of those.
Those are in the line.
I know. So you have everything Vera Bradley now, but no more clothing. And people used to confuse.
That was last month I said that.
Oh, yikes. Okay, yeah, exactly.
We're working on it.
But there used to cause some confusion, a little bit of confusion. So tell us about that.
Well, where are we going here? Okay, now wait a minute. We did make the clothing, and when my mother died, do you remember that story? This is kind of a cute story because my mother was 82 years old. I named the company after her, Vera Bradley. And she repped us until the day she died. She was 82 years old. And we were living she was living in Boca Raton, Florida. So when we decided what she should be buried in, we thought it would be a Vera Bradley outfit because that made sense. So I called the company. We were very small back then. And I said, send me one of the outfits. I think you'll see in the picture here, we're all wearing the clothes. It was very funny. We all wore the same outfits. And there's my mother and me. Mother has on the skirt. I have on the dress. So anyway, we had Vera laid out in her outfit. And one of her customers came to the funeral, and she got about 2 feet from the casket, and she looked at it and she said, "Oh, is that the new blue?" So we thought it was kind of sweet because, you know, she introduced it. She would have loved that.
Yeah.
But we did wear
Selling
the clothing.
till the very end, right?
And
Representing till the very end.
I mean, it was fun. And we'd wear the clothing all the time. We caused a sensation, yeah.
There's some other things that cause sensations, not so much to the public, but within the company. And that is some of the company traditions that you started way back in the beginning that still exist to this day that I think are things, even as you've grown so big and people have tried to convince you to do away with some of them, have meant so much to you, and I think could resonate with a lot of people here, things that, you know, we always look for to build loyalty and retention within our company. So some of those, I know birthdays is one of them that I love, but talk about some of those traditions.
Well, birthdays, now remember we started with one employee, you know, maybe two. So on the birthday, we had put a $50 bill in the birthday card because I was thinking there'd be nothing nicer than to open your birthday card and just have a $50 bill of your very own. You don't need to tell anyone you have it. You don't need to show it to your husband if you don't want to. It's like found money. Well, now we have 2,700 employees, and we still do that. We kept the tradition going. So,
and it's interesting because I know the accountants have tried to say, oh, come on, can't we do it by check? Can't you do it by this? And the cash is really important to you.
Well, I don't think being men, they understand what it's like for a woman. Maybe I'm going, maybe because of my age, to find, have you ever reached in your pocket and found a $10 bill and it's like, this is so exciting. So, so anyway, they'll come to me from finance and they say, please make it easy on us. We can add that to their payroll, their check on the month of their birthday, or we'll do it this way or that way. And I'm, no, we are putting a $50 bill and we're signing the card of all 2,700 employees. And you know what? We get more response from that. They love that.
Of course, absolutely. So one of the things that I love about you is that you really are this pioneer in being able to do it all. Raised 4 children, took care of 4 children, started this business, still involved in this business, managed to have dinner on the table, which I know was very important to your husband at the time. How do you manage to make it all happen?
Well, I don't know. I've got one of my children here. I hope he doesn't stand up and say I didn't do it all very well. But I just think you just have fun at what you're doing and you just balance it. You know, I think in my generation, again, when you were married, when I was a housewife, I was expected to have dinner on the table, take care of the house, take care of the kids, do everything. But I wasn't in business. In fact, I had I hung wallpaper for years. I just happened to like hanging wallpaper. So I started a little business hanging wallpaper because I could do it when the kids left for school. I could be home before they got home from school. And occasionally I'd be a little late, so I'd put some butter in a pan and throw an onion in there, and then when anyone walked in the door, they thought dinner was cooking, you know, so that was my little secret.
She's been cooking all day.
Yeah, and
she's
here
a clever little one. Tell them what you thought you could name your wallpaper company.
Well, I wanted to name my company Well Hung. And
30 years ago.
And our husbands did not like that. They had no sense of humor.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Okay, so the compromise, we named it Up Your Wall, and that was fun too. Yeah. And we had pink ladders, and we wore pink overalls, and I mean, we had a ball. I still love to hang wallpaper.
Sure.
That's my daughter and my granddaughter. It looks like I'm cooking. I'm really not cooking. That's kind of a setup shot.
You're serving
I'm
the
serving,
cookies.
yeah. So that's my daughter, Amy, and she's married to the CEO of Vera Bradley, Mike Ray, and my granddaughter, who's been in all our catalogs and all of that. So,
I know details are very important to you. Details, no details too small, and you take great pride, both personally as well as professionally throughout every aspect of the company, to be meticulous about the details. So why is that so important, and where did that come from?
The details, I think I can blame or give credit to the nuns. I went to Catholic school, And yeah, we can applaud that. That was pretty good. And I took home ec. I loved home ec. I loved sewing. And the nuns, I don't know if it was to be meticulous or to be mean, but they graded you higher on the inside of the garment than the outside. So you learned very quickly, because knowing me, I would have whipped it up and been able to wear it to a dance and said, you know, done with that. But they graded you on the inside of the product. So that gave us a really strong sense of how things should be better on the inside and look good.
So you can turn any of your products inside out, and they really do look gorgeous that way.
Yeah.
So tell me about your involvement now, your day-to-day involvement now.
Every day I'm involved now. My husband passed away, and I think it's been a wonderful thing for me to be really involved with my business and with my children, family. I have 12 grandchildren, 4 children, 37 nieces and nephews. One of my nieces who live with me and my daughter married brothers, so we're like interrelated there too. So I have a lot that keeps me busy, but I love going to work. I have a huge passion for it. That's where I want to be. We have an office in New York, so I can spend my time in Fort Wayne and in New York. Lots of family involved. There are about 10 family members that are involved in the business in one way or another. So that makes it fun. It's just a fun place to be. It's beautiful. The offices are beautiful. It's just, I love it. I couldn't love anything more.
Not only is it fun, and when I talk to anybody who works with you, I really get that sense of fun. It's very clear, but I also get the sense of really nice people. And I know that that is a core value of yours, you've told me before that you don't hire people and tell them to be nice, but really you hire nice people, and it's evident throughout the company. And you have not only that philosophy of being nice, but also of giving back. And so I want to give you the chance to talk about some of those efforts.
Yeah, well, we love giving back. And even with my grandchildren, I think it started very early when I'd give them money. Say for a birthday, you give them $100 and they have to give 10 to a charity. And I noticed early on that they might write or call me and say, oh, Bertie, I bought a bike helmet with the 90, but I gave the 10 to whatever, someone who had a tragedy in their family. And I found that they got more excited about what they did with the 10 than what they did with the 90. And I think that from the very beginning, Pat and I really felt strongly about giving back. I lost my dearest friend to breast cancer, so we got involved as soon as she passed away. She had lost her grandmother and her mother to breast cancer. So we said, this must not happen to her children. So we started a foundation. We started a golf tournament. We do a pattern for breast cancer. This year it's ribbons. We've almost given $20 million. This is in the last...
$20 million. Yeah. Definitely something to applaud.
That's probably the thing we're most proud of. So we pledged $20 million. We're almost there. We have one more million, and we give $1 million a year. So one more year, and she died 20 years ago. So that was our pledge to breast cancer research. Yeah, and the other thing I love, we have a happy committee at Vera Bradley, and we budget for this, and it rotates. So you're on the happy committee for a couple of years, and it's people in shipping. It's not just the executives deciding, okay, we're going to have a Christmas party or something. So they get the money, and they can do anything they want. Like on the day of the Olympics, they had everyone wear red, white, and blue. Or they might have a bowling party. This year we had a skating party. And they come up with things all year long. If anyone in the company has a baby, we have an annual baby shower. And the mothers come and bring their babies to the shower. And we just like to have a good time. We just, make it enjoyable.
You do have a good time. And so the one last thing that I love is a piece of advice that your dad gave you. And I think about it all the time because you passed this advice on to me, and I try to share it with people everywhere I go. So I love when you get to talk about your dad.
Well, this is my father. This is Edward Bradley. Vera Bradley was married to Edward Bradley. And my dad is really responsible for Vera Bradley too, because he was in the gift industry. And when we had the idea about Vera Bradley, we went to the gift shows, the New York gift show, and so that was why I knew to go there as opposed to, say, I don't know, Junior League days or something like that. So anyway, his advice was always, in a business, you sell yourself first, your company second, and your product third. He said, you want to be yourself, you want to be honest, you want to be straightforward, and do business with people that you like them, the person. Then the company has to back up the person, and the company has to be reputable and follow your stride. And then really the product, there's a lot of product out there. You know, people do not have to buy your product. So I think that's been our mantra all along at Vera Bradley. And that's why I think we hire people that we think fit our culture.
The nice people.
Yeah.
The nice people who like to have fun and sit on the happiness committee.
I know.
I want that job. I want that job. But instead, I have a job right now that comes pretty close to that. And that is, one of my favorite things is a little Vera Bradley pouch that I carry with me. So it's like I can like channel you and
that's
keep
the
it
breast
with me.
cancer. That's the one we did for breast cancer, right?
And because Barbara is so nice, and because she has such a great affection for her ability to be here with all of you, right now, all of you are going to get a little piece of Vera Bradley too. Yeah.